Today, we're stepping into a story that's thousands of years old and still being written. My guest, Toria Dasberg, is the VP of the City of David, where archaeology, education, and diplomacy meet in one of the most sensitive and fascinating places on Earth. I'm Ashley Waxman Bakshi. This is One on One. All right, Olia, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
City of David is, as you know, something that's very close to my heart. The first time I was there, I just want to share a little bit of a personal story
Please do.
for everyone watching. The first time I was there was life-changing for me.
Wow.
It was really life-changing because up until I had ever gone to City of David, and for those who don't know, because I had heard City of David, I always thought it was like the tunnels under the Kotel, but it's not. It's a completely different site. And up until the point that I had visited, I was the kind of person who always said, some things from the Bible maybe happened, maybe didn't happen. We've never really proven King David, or we've never really proven any of these things. Even the temple, like, could kind of be questioned because, okay, we have the wall, but like, who knows really what that wall was? So I always kind of took everything written in the Bible with a little bit of a grain of salt, which I think many people do. Even if they do believe, they still say, how much is factual and historical. When I went for the first time on my visit to City of David, and I was shown artifacts that had been found that had been dated to the same, temple period, first temple period, that had the actual names of the people that were written in the Bible, I was like, okay, hold on. There's more to this. And when you go, I was lucky enough to be taken under to, where it's not officially open to the public yet. There's no denying. There's really no denying. So for me, it really changed my perspective on if I do believe in not the five books of the Torah, but the following parts, the times of the prophets and what was written about our kings, to now where I'm sure beyond any doubt that this is a book that wrote down our history. And so for me, City of David has always been kind of a place that's very special to me. And I think that in general, whenever somebody comes to visit Israel and they ask me, like, where do I have to go? Should I go to the Shuk? Should I go to the beach? I'm like, oh, hold on, start with City of David.
Wow.
So it was very important for me to have you here today because I want everyone to know the story of City of David.
So first of all, I'm really excited to hear you speak. And I think it's so amazing for you that not when you are 10 or 12 years old or 13, maybe bat mitzvah, bar mitzvah, suddenly something happens to you when you're grown up and you get to know something new and like everything is settled. And I feel the same because even though I was born in Israel and I was raised here in Israel, only when I got to be the luckiest girl in the world to work in the city of David, suddenly I felt something is so true underneath my legs, underneath my feet. When I walk there, I feel that I'm connected. And the way that you presented that suddenly something happened to you, suddenly I went back 13 years ago to feel exactly that. And every day I come to the area, to the digging area, something new is happening. And I see everyone is so excited. All my people working there, something is really strong going there. And I'm happy that it's not only for us, the people that work there, it's also you felt exactly the same. So
Mhm.
something strong is happening there. And as we say, it's not a matter of faith, it's a matter of fact.
Absolutely.
That's what's so interesting now in the city of David. It's not a matter of faith, it's a matter of fact. And every time you come, and Ashley, you come a lot.
Yeah.
Every time you come, you see something that makes you even stronger with this feeling.
Absolutely. That's why I made sure to bring my family and my husband and my
Yes.
children, and really everyone needs to go. So let's start a little bit at the beginning, though, because people who have never been or don't know what the City of David is are probably like, what are they talking about? Explain to us, where is the City of David? Where is it physically located, and how is it different from where one would expect it to be? And how was it discovered?
Okay. So whenever we speak about ancient Jerusalem, even when we say to people, when you come to Israel and you want to go to the city center, where do you go? So they either go to the Shuk or they would go to the old city, the Jewish quarter, the Christian quarter, the Muslim quarter, and they're absolutely sure that they are in the ancient city. But that is not correct. Actually, at 1867, Charles Warren comes from Britain. He was sent by King Victoria. He was sent to Israel to sneak around. He was an archaeology, but let's see what's going on there. And he wanted to dig just underneath the Temple Mount. And the Waqf at this time told him, well, you're a very nice guy, but you're not going to dig here. And they kicked him out. He was very upset. But before he went home, he said, okay, let's walk a little bit around. And he started walking at the southern part of the old city, just outside the Shara Shpot of the wall.
Right.
Okay,
So one of the gates
one
that,
of the gates.
right.
He started walking there, like in the Kidron Valley,
Hmm.
and suddenly he saw a small tunnel going inside. He went inside. He's looking up. He's climbing up, and he's getting out of nowhere in the middle of a potato area.
Hmm.
Nothing there. And he's looking right, he's looking left, he's looking north, he's looking south, and he's saying, wait a minute. I believe I just found the city of David, the ancient city of David. The city up there, up north, with the four quarters, with the Temple Mount on it, where we used to have the temple, this is the new old city. This is only a few hundred years old. But when we're looking at the ancient city where King David decided to build the kingdom, the Jewish kingdom, the Israeli kingdom, this is where it is. And he opens the Bible and he's reading on Yoav ben Tzuriah, who is coming from inside the tunnel to conquer the city from the inside, because the city was very surrounded by very big and strong walls. And Yoav ben Tzuriah, as we read in the Bible, is going inside exactly the same tunnel that Charles Warren has been going through. He's going inside and he's opening the gates and all the armies coming in. And this is how the city was conquered. And he's absolutely sure, I found the ancient city of David. Since then, more than 150 years later, we see many archaeologists coming, digging, and now we're absolutely sure that this is the ancient city of David. And every day we uncover the 3,000, 2,000 years of history, which is a very, very big privilege for us in this generation to uncover our own history from 3,000 years ago.
So it's interesting too, because after it's discovered, you start to say, aha, actually, that makes more sense.
It is.
According to the stories and the way, things would have been 2,000, 3,000 years ago, it makes sense that the people would have lived not right next door to the temple, right?
Absolutely.
And when you're there physically and you see it with your eyes, you realize it's not so far away. It's still like a 5-minute walk, right? But it doesn't make sense. And I, as a tourist coming to Israel before I lived here, I used to come to the area of the Kotel and what we call the Old City. I used to think as a child in my head, like, this is really weird that you would have like a big, like the temple and everybody would like live on top of it. Like, it seems kind of weird. Like the holiest place you build, you would have the market and people would be living like on top of each other. So after you see it with your eyes and you see the story, you're like, actually, this makes a lot of sense. So tell us, when did you guys start this project of actually digging and uncovering? And also, a second before that, when in 1867, when this was discovered for the first time, as you said, there was nothing there, right? So even the neighborhoods, like the Arab neighborhoods, the Jewish neighborhoods, it was all fields.
Yes,
It,
absolutely nothing there. Everything that we see today when we walk in the city of David and all the surrounding, it's 100 years old, a little bit more, a little bit less. All the houses there, very new when we speak in thousands of years.
right.
And it's unbelievable that on top of such an ancient and holy place, we suddenly see a modern city. But in Kabbalat Shabbat, in every Shabbat that we daven Shabbat evening, we say, in Lecha Dodi, we say, Venivneta ir al tila. We build a city upon the hill, upon the ancient city.
Uh-huh.
As long as we give and we honor the ancient, we can build one layer on top of the other, one layer on top of the other. And I think it's really nice that we come today and we see the old city, but we manage with very clever engineers helping us,
Mhm.
okay,
Mhm.
to uncover underneath.
Right.
And it's unbelievable that I don't think that there are many cities in the world that you dig underneath houses.
No, and we'll get to that, and
Yeah.
we'll get to the complexity also of literally of people living literally within an archaeological site, so we'll
Yes.
get to that shortly. But tell us, when was the project initiated to actually start uncovering this? And for many, many years, and this is why I referenced the fact that there was nothing there was documentation that this British guy discovered the city of David, but then for over 100 years, nothing was done with that.
Yes.
So take us from the moment it was discovered for the first time until the moment the city of David was established and you decided to embark on the archaeological project.
Okay, so there were some missions coming from all around the world to dig a little bit, but there was nothing really happening there. And this is quite sad, I must say, that even in 1948, when the Israeli state was established, no one took this area, which, as you feel, and you say, every time I come there, I feel it in my guts. I feel that this is something so strong happening there. No one did anything about it. And it was only 31 years ago that our CEO, our president of the City of David Association, has decided, as a lonely person, and he wasn't rich. He was nothing. He was a gardener. Okay, that was his job. He was a gardener, but he was an officer in the army. And when he used to work there as an officer, he said, "This is wrong. This is wrong. It cannot be that when I come to the city of David, where my nation was born, I have to cover myself. I'm afraid to come here. Something is wrong here." And he decides to go to all the archives and to find all those papers from the times of Rothschild, who bought some of the land, because Rothschild understood something is happening here. He bought the land,
Mm.
but no one did officially anything with it. He bought parts of the land. So my boss, his name is David Be'eri, he won the Israeli prize for a life project,
Mhm.
because it really is his life project. He left his house, he sold his house, he came and bought a ruined house in the city of David, and he came and lived there because he said, if I want to make a change, my life has to change. I cannot do it from Tel Aviv. I have to come and be here. And he opened all the archives. He proved in court that we own some of the land there. And the first thing he did is to bring Israel authority to dig there, okay? To dig there. And we started, and now we are the biggest site in Israel digging underneath to find the remnants from 2,000, 3,000 years ago. So it was only him 31 years ago. That's it. That everything has actually started with digging inside, really like going deep inside the area to
And
find it.
I'm assuming, I mean, he knew because he had that feeling, obviously, and it was burning passion inside of him. He knew he would discover something, but I don't think anything could prepare him for what would actually be found.
Absolutely not. I say, I wish I could be an angel in his dream to understand what is he dreaming when he decides every year, no, we go further. What does he see? What does he feel inside? And I think God has touched him, because he knows, he just knows. He tells us, let's go this way, let's go this way. Sometimes we dig, and we don't find anything. And then we go back and we start another route. Okay. And it is just in the last 3 years that we found the Siloam pool.
Right.
We're digging it. It's huge. And actually, you didn't come for the last 2 weeks. When you come again,
Wow.
you will not believe it. You will not believe what's happening
It's the
there.
kind of place where you really have to come once a month.
Yes, I got
Uncovering more
this
things.
morning a picture from one of my diggers sending me, look what we found. New steps
Wow.
going down the Siloam pool.
Wow.
And from the Siloam pool, we found the road going all the way up
Right.
to the Temple Mount, the
Right.
pilgrimage road.
Right.
In the pilgrimage road, what you said that you were lucky to go before it's open to the public, you actually walk on the footsteps of our ancestors.
Yeah.
You walk there, you feel it,
Yeah.
and it's real steps. It's not something that we recovered.
Mm-hmm.
Real steps that we uncovered,
Yeah.
that people from all around the world came 3 times a year, Pesach, Sukkot, Shavuot,
Mm-hmm.
and they walked all the way from the Siloam pool where they purified themselves all the way up to the Temple Mount.
Mm-hmm.
And we walk there. So this is, I was so privileged. I'm there for 13 years. It's exactly the time that it took us to complete this digging from the Siloam pool to the Temple Mount. It's 600 meters. It's quite tough to go. You
Yeah.
walk there. It's
Yeah.
quite tough. A little. You have to walk slowly. But we unpaved it. We uncovered it.
Right.
It's amazing.
And so what was the first major discovery that was made that indicated to you guys this is for sure, where King David's palace
Palace.
stood?
Okay, so even today, I cannot tell you for absolutely sure this is King David's palace. Okay, I have to be true with you. I have to be honest.
I don't know. I'm pretty convinced.
You're pretty convinced. I'm also pretty convinced, but I have to be.
Okay.
I have to say, but we did find many remnants saying, okay, this is from the century that is relevant to King David. Okay, it's exact. How do we know that? We found the archaeology stuff. We took it to the lab. We do all the tests, and believe me, the people that are doing the tests, they are not always those who want to say this is King David. Okay, but
Yeah.
they are true to the facts.
Mhm.
Okay, as we said, it's not a matter of faith; it's a matter of fact. So the century is the same as King David. The big, massive walls that we see there, absolutely all the historians say this has to be a very big place. It's not just another house.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also find the the bullas that are speaking about Jeremiah's prophet's time. When we read in the Bible about the names of those two people at the time of Jeremiah, we read them
Mm-hmm.
in the book of Jeremiah. We read those names and we find those bullas there with the names of those people there. So when you have reference from the Bible, and when you have remnants going to the lab saying the 10th century, and when you have the historians saying, wait a second, this is huge monument, this has to be connected to the time of King David, to his heritage, to this time in the world that it was there. So when I come there, I feel I'm walking in the footsteps of King David's heritage.
Isn't
for
there
sure.
something else too? I could be wrong because I've taken so many tours there that I could be mixing this up. But wasn't there also like a structural design that was found that's like a Phoenician design?
yeah.
And we know from the Bible that the cedars came
Oh,
from Lebanon,
Yes,
right?
it's Hiram, the king of Tsur. Tsur is from Lebanon.
Right.
He sent us, and also it's written in the Bible, he sent us workers, very professional workers,
Right.
working with stones and working with iron. And we find these kind of stones relevant to the time. They are exactly dated to this time of Kings David legacy and so Hiram Melech Tzor, the king of Tzor.
Yeah.
So again,
I don't know. It just doesn't sound like a coincidence to me.
I agree with you.
I'm pretty
But,
convinced.
today when we have soldiers that are fed up with their time in the army, they write on the walls, I'm here until when? It's like
Right.
I went into service at August 2020. I'm supposed to get released at 2022. I have 2 more months to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they leave a sign on the
Right.
wall.
Right.
So I didn't find a sign of King David saying, I was here 10th century BC,
Mhm,
okay? But we did find the same remnants that we sent to the lab are the same, they are exactly the same time that we did find the name of David said, written on a stone in Dan.
Right.
north of Israel,
Mhm.
and it's the same time.
Mhm.
So everything is wrapped together.
Mhm.
But if you're asking me, Oria, did you find King David was here? I have to be honest with you, no. But when you take this and you take that and you take this and you take that and you take the feeling
Mhm.
and you take the feeling of what's happening there, and I'm telling you, Ashley, you're not the only one, and I'm not the only one who's feeling that. Every single person that I've seen there is feeling it. There's
Yeah.
something there in the air. So it's the faith, but I'm saying it's not a matter of faith. When you take all of it together, it's a fact.
So remind me because I also want to get to there's so many things I want to talk about, so I don't want to forget, but I want to get to specifically that about the decision, the strategic decision to bring politicians and diplomats to see this. But we'll get there because I do have one more question about the actual archaeology. So, some years ago, the Muslims started digging under the Temple Mount to create another mosque. And what they did was they basically, dug a tunnel and all that earth and dirt that was discovered, not thinking about how many archaeological artifacts would be in that. They pretty much illegally, or I would say ethically and morally illegally, took all this dirt and just dumped it somewhere. Basically, archaeologists from the city of David went through and said, wait, if that was all taken from this very, very, important site, there must be something there. And you started sifting through it and you guys found like the most amazing things. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the things you found was like a little scroll that had the priest's prayer on it.
It's not from there.
Oh, it's not from there?
It's a site next to it.
Next to it. But for me, that was really interesting also to see how, and this was from First Temple
Yeah.
period, right? So about 3,000 years
Mm-hmm.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
The exact same words that are written in my prayer book today are written on that little
Yes.
scroll, which proves that,
Again, another proof.
right, that these prayers are like legit because I've heard people say this and I even took a course in university in Canada. It was about the three major religions and it was a very kind of historical perspective of the course. And it was also from a very atheist standpoint about all three of the
Mm-hmm.
religions. And I remember learning at an academic level that the Jewish prayers were all written centuries later in Babylon and in Yemen and nothing was actually from here. And then you find this from 3,000 years ago and it just completely negated everything I'd ever learned at an academic level.
Yes.
So that was something that was so interesting for me. But I want to go back to the fact that basically this attempt to dig this mosque under the Temple Mount was essentially also, because it wasn't done in a way where they tried to preserve the archaeological findings there, we can only assume they also wanted to rid any kind of proof, historical proof, that Jews have any connection to the Temple Mount. But what ended up happening was when you guys went through it and started sifting through it, you actually found much more proof that a temple stood there, that there was a Jewish presence there. So tell us a little bit about what you guys found through that and how, a little bit about the politics behind digging and where we're allowed to dig, what we're not allowed to dig, and
Okay.
who's doing what.
Yes, it's an excellent question. We're speaking now 2 years after October 7, when we're facing an actual terrorist war, okay? There is another war going on for a very long time, which is the diplomatic war, which is, it's a very, very difficult war that we're facing. And it's a war. It's a war because it's, we are facing exactly exactly what you were telling. People are trying to demolish everything that belongs to our history, to our ancestors, to our legacy. Okay. And when you're saying that they cleaned the area in order to build their own stuff, it's not just to clean the area. There was a very big purpose behind it. And when we're digging, we get a lot of questions of why are you digging here? Why are you doing that? And there were years during our digging time that it was kind of scary, like someone is going to stop us. They don't like what we're doing. Why? Not because we are maybe putting the houses above in a risk. No, because we were doing everything exactly by the book.
Yeah, you spend lots of money to make sure.
Lots of money to make sure that nothing happens
Right,
to the houses above us.
right.
People were doing a lot of effort, putting a lot of effort to stop us from digging because they didn't want us to understand and to bring the proofs of our history.
Hmm.
Okay? So it's exactly what you're saying. And it's a very big war going on even today. And this is why we put so much effort to do it now, because we have to bring the proofs that we were here. The Jewish nation was born in Jerusalem. It was born here with the King David when he united the kingdom and decided to build the temple. So this is why we're doing it. And exactly as you said, when we took all the stuff, because when we asked to dig under the Temple Mount, very carefully, with very, very unique materials that we're digging with, we were said, not here. This is too holy. Don't go in.
And
And
who
then
said no?
suddenly,
Who said no? It was
the authority, the
the
Israeli
Israeli
authority,
authorities.
the Israeli authorities.
I know. I think
They
it's
said,
important because for us
yes,
it's obvious, but the people watching might not necessarily understand.
yes,
It's not that the Muslims said to you no; it's
no,
that our own Israeli
exactly.
authorities said
Everyone
no.
said, don't go in there. It's too, just don't. It's too dangerous for the political situation
Right.
in the world,
It's
okay?
too explosive.
Yes. So leave this. Dig in southern part, leave this part. And then suddenly, all these tons of dirt coming out of there. So very quickly we went there. I don't know how much we lost, okay?
Mhm,
I don't know
mhm.
how much we didn't get.
Or maybe what they found
Exactly.
that
And we
they,
took.
yeah.
I don't know, but we took it and we brought families. It's not just us doing it. We
Mhm.
brought families from all around the world. Even today, you can still do it. You come, it's called Emek Tzurim, like you were there,
Mhm.
Ashley, and you go there and you get a Swift and you Swift by yourself. And every time you come, you find something
It's crazy.
from the ancient time. So what did we find? We found jewelries. We found coins, many coins. And you know, coins from ancient time, they tell a story.
Yes.
They tell a story. We were here. It's like what we said, someone wrote on the wall.
Mhm.
At ancient time, they used to put coins and to say the story on the coin. Some of the coins are saying for the freedom of Zion.
Right.
Okay, at
Right.
the rebellion, Second Temple rebellion, the coins are saying, it's written on it. First year for the rebellion, second year of the rebellion, third year of the rebellion, fourth year of the rebellion, and that's it.
That's it.
Because the
Yeah.
rebellion has ended
Right.
with the temple on fire, and everyone went exiled.
I've heard people also say, well, then why don't we see, the image of King David, for example, on the coin? And it's important for people to understand that according to the Jewish religion,
Exactly.
it's like idolization. So Jews were not allowed to put the picture
Yes.
of the king on the coin.
Exactly. And you know, today that we are making movies that are being presented to people in the city of David when they come, because it's very important, it's very difficult to understand. You see, the remembrance was, mm, some people like myself, it's very difficult to imagine. Let's imagine the palace. Let's imagine the house. So we put videos and we never put King
Mhm.
David face or whatever because it's not relevant. It's
Right.
not.
We also don't really know what he looked like,
Actually, we don't. And I
other than he had red hair,
I
right?
read her, and I want people to imagine
Right.
what he looked like, especially children, but not only children, because each one of us has a child inside of him. When he comes to a walk in the city of David and he sees and he learns about King David and everything, I want him to ask himself, this child or this child inside me, if he was a shepherd and he was like, the not very loved boy in the family, and he became a king,
Mm.
what does it mean about me? What does it mean about me? Can I do something more than I'm doing today? Can I become a leader more than I am today?
Mm.
And these kind of questions, when you don't have the picture of the man, it makes your
Right.
imagination goes even further. So I think the Bible and the book of laws of the Jewish book of laws, when they said don't put pictures, they
Mhm.
were very clever.
There's what the story that I keep thinking whenever I'm there. I wonder where the rooftop was where he saw Bathsheba, right?
Yes, yes, everyone does. I think it goes in the mind of many people, and I can locate you a few places. I take you. I say maybe here, maybe here.
So I want to really get into the fact that the city of David has turned into a almost like a diplomatic spot
Yes,
today.
absolutely.
It's very important for, people in the Ministry of Tourism, I guess, to understand, but especially for you guys in City of David. You've been um, investing a lot of resources in the PR for City of David, not because, this is a huge business, but because you understand, as you said, the diplomatic war, the war on the narrative, and
Yes.
how important it is for people who are, saying certain things about Israel and how, we're stealing land. This isn't our land. We were never here. We're just European white colonizers. For them to really understand that it's not that we decided one day in 1882 to just pick up our bags and come to s- someone else's land. Tell us a little bit about where that idea came from and what you've seen over the past few years and how it's changed since October 7th. Have people not wanted to come anymore? Do diplomats come but not want to post on their social media that they're there? Tell us a little bit
On the
behind
contrary,
the scenes.
on the contrary, as you said, you were sitting in university and taking a course about the three religions. It's very difficult to understand it once you sit in the university. Only when you come and you see in your eyes, your own eyes, you can start to really understand what's going on. And this is what we understand, that people have to come and see. We can send ambassadors all around the world to tell them. We can send coins with them. We can send presents. We can send videos. We can do everything. It's not the same. And you feel it, Ashley. This is why you come. Every few weeks, you're there. Only when you're there, you understand that we were here. This is where our nation was born, and this is part of our legacy. The Jewish and the Christians' legacy are here.
Mhm.
Okay? And this is why we put so much effort into bringing all of them to the city of David. I don't want to send them books. I don't want to go and meet them overseas. They have to come. And I can see that once they come, something changes. Exactly as you said, it was only when you arrived there that you understood. And this is exactly what we see in every diplomat that is coming. And it doesn't matter from which country he comes. Okay? They all come out, and you can see the book of visitors of the city of David, and they sign, they understand. This is why we're doing it. And we do, as you said, we invest a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of resources in order to host them, because when we have a diplomat coming and he needs a lot of protection sometimes, okay, we say, okay, it's important. We do it. Yes, so we do put a lot of resources because this is the only way. And we are so privileged to have the opportunity to show people the proofs that they need it,
Mhm.
that they're looking for it. I have to say that after October 7th, so many people are looking for connection.
Mhm.
Something is missing. They want to understand why. Why is this happening to us? Okay? And what does it mean to be a Jew? Where did we start from? Where did we come from? So we get many more people that are feeling that they need this connection. And something's very interesting happening in the city of David after October 7th. People come out, and I ask them, what do you feel now? After a tour, 2 hours tour, 1.5 hour tour, 3 hours, whatever. Tell me one word.
Pride.
Pride. Another word. They say hope.
Mm.
We get hope from this place.
Mm.
And I think that all the diplomats that are coming, they are proud, they feel connected, and they get hope. And why hope? Because you get the perspective
Mhm.
of 3,000 years.
Mhm. If we survived all that.
Survived so much. And you see the ash.
Mhm.
You see the ash when you go in the city of David. You see the black ash that happened in the fire 2,000 years ago. And we were absolutely sure there is nothing left of us. Nothing. No, Judaism is gone. And we're standing here 2,000 years ago. I'm a mother for two soldiers. I'm so proud. I'm standing here, like you said. I feel proud. I feel this is something belonging to me, and I have so much hope. And our a nation our hymnon. How do you say hymnon?
Anthem.
Anthem. What is it called?
Hope.
Hatikva.
Yeah.
Hope.
Mhm.
So the city of David gives you hope because you understand 3,000 years, we're not going anywhere.
Mhm.
It can be very difficult. And we did go we had 2 very difficult years,
Mhm.
very difficult years. But we have hope and we are proud and we know where we come from and we are connected. And all of this happens in the city of David. 2 hours tour and you feel it. Of course, if you have more time, you will get even stronger out of it. But this is what happens to people that they come here. And this is
Absolutely.
why we bring all those diplomats. And I didn't see any diplomat saying, I don't want to put it on my Facebook. I don't want to put it in my Instagram. I didn't see it. Maybe you did. You are more connected to this kind of people. And it's okay. If people say, listen, I want it to be private at this time of, I prefer to feel it myself. I don't want to share it yet. But we see on the internet and on social, it's blowing now.
Right.
It's unbelievable. And they say 2026 is going to be a very strong year of incoming tourism. I'm sure that people will.
They need to book their spots now.
Yes.
It's filling up.
We discussed it before we started the podcast, Ashley. We discussed the fact that every time the Jewish people, the Israeli people, get something that they are cracked, they are smashed, something is very difficult happening, there's something big coming after that. And you were speaking about the blossom of technology that is going to happen. And I also feel it from this pride that you're speaking about, that no one is going to be ashamed to say, I'm visiting the city of David.
Mhm.
They would say, oh my God, I haven't been there for a few months. I have to go again.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what I feel. I hope I'm right. That's what I see now that is happening. And we do get so many approaches. We want to come, we want to come, we want to come. We just opened a site for a small hotel in the city.
Oh, really?
It's already
Wow.
packed up. It's unbelievable.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the Abraham Accords.
Yes.
If you have any stories, if you could share anything, because I'm sure that was a very exciting time for the first time to welcome, delegations probably from Morocco, UAE. Was there any kind of skepticism at first? And then also they had these life-changing experiences. Was there anything that you could share with us about that?
Well, actually, there aren't enough missions coming yet from Abraham Accords, I think, to Israel as a whole and to the city of David
Hmm.
particularly. And so it's going to take time. But, when we speak to these missions, we speak about the monotheism. We all believe in one God. And we pray 3 times a day in our prayers, the Jewish people, that there will be a day that the three religions will stand together and say, there is one God. Ushmo echad. Okay, there is one God. We pray 3 times a day. So when we speak to these delegations, we point out this kind of speech that we want to say. And when we speak about what do we hope for Jerusalem, where do we all want to see it? Okay, in a few years, it's not going to happen probably in the next couple of years. Okay, but if we do have hope and we do know where we want to go and we do know what's going to happen, where we're aiming at,
Hmm.
then the base, we can speak about it. And I think the city of David is exactly the place where we should speak about it. And we shouldn't be apologetic and we shouldn't be afraid. None of us. The triangle, Christians, Muslims, Judaism, I think the city of David is going to be the place where it's going to happen.
I agree 100%. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about right now. I'm sure you've seen it or copies of it. There's kind of a pamphlet that was written about 100 years ago. And it was written by, if I'm not mistaken, the Waqf,
Yes.
right? And it's
Yes.
like the directions of how you should, modestly and correctly enter the Temple Mount. And it specifically says there, King Solomon's temple,
Exactly.
right? So 100 years ago, no Muslims were denying the fact that this is King Solomon's temple and that this is a holy site for Jews as well. The narrative shift that we've seen over the past 100 years is a complete 180. And I'm hoping that through places like City of David, people will be able to kind of try to cleanse themselves of the propaganda and go back to the roots. I mean, the story of Islam doesn't negate the fact that King Solomon's temple stood there, right? In fact, a lot of the prophets are the same prophets, right? These are things that I find mind-boggling that you can't explain when they believe in the same prophets as us, that our prophets wrote and spoke about King Solomon's temple, King David's palace. Then how can you all of a sudden negate it? So I'm hoping that through delegations
The change will come.
that
We
they'd
have
have
to
to
be
come.
patient. The change will come, and we have to, Abraham Accords, as you said. We've been used to the fact that peace agreements were called by the name of the place where it was signed.
Right.
Oslo,
Oslo.
Camp David.
Right.
And suddenly someone comes and says, Abraham Accords.
Mhm.
Let's remember why we come from from the same father. We can be good siblings. We can. We
Mhm.
can. And I believe that there is a very small and extreme group that is doing so much harm for Muslims and of course for everyone. But deep inside, I do believe, and I have to believe because otherwise, there's no reason to wake up in the morning. Deep inside, I do believe there is a very big group that does want to live in peace.
Mhm. For
And
sure.
they do understand that we come from the same father and Jerusalem can be for all of us. I don't believe it's going to be in my generation, and I'm very upset about it. But I believe it will happen, and we have to do everything we can in order to make it available for the next generation. Okay? And I believe the city of David is going to have a very, very big place in this game
Me too.
in the next generation. And this is what we're doing now. We're making the platform for those Abraham Accords to come and build themselves upon the city of David. And Nivneta ir al Tila, as I said, the city will be built on the hill that we are building now.
It's interesting, and I do strongly agree, and I had that same kind of feeling when I was in Hebron, right? You kind of have the same feeling there where Ishmael and Isaac came together to bury their father,
Exactly. We
right?
just read it a few weeks ago in the Parashat
Right,
Shavua.
right. And so it's these same things that if we just go back to the actual origins
Yes.
of both of the faiths and
But
remember.
it's very sad because it was only when the father died
Right,
that they came together.
right.
Can we make it while no one died? Like now, like when we're happy and we can.
Unfortunately, we have a history of only making peace after we've had wars. So hopefully October 7th will lead us
I believe
to
it
bigger
will.
and better
I believe
peace.
it will.
I'd like to finish off with the complexities of physically explaining that the city of David today is also a neighborhood.
Yes.
People live there. They can buy a home and it is their property and they live there, and you guys are digging under their home. So explain to us, first of all, the complexities, because there are, if I'm not mistaken, Arabs and Jews who live together within that neighborhood.
Yes, absolutely.
And right outside, if I'm not mistaken, the city of David a few years ago, there was a terror attack
Mhm.
between neighbors, right? This is all happening in a very, very complicated place. People who haven't been there might, think, oh, this is an open field, it's an archaeological dig. No, not at all. It's literally 5 minutes outside the old
The old
city.
city.
You've got traffic, you've got really, really narrow winding roads with no sidewalks. You've got Arabs and Jews living together, and then you've got employees of City of David going in and out, and you have this like complicated, as you said, engineers and technology. Explain to us how this all makes sense.
I can explain until tomorrow. First of all, you have to come and see because Ashley, it's very difficult to explain. But let's try, okay? Yes, in the city of David today, there is a layer of Jews and Arabs living together. And the past 3 years, because already in Shomer Chomot,
Operation Guardian of the Walls.
yes, it was quiet there. And it's unbelievable. It should have been the most explosive area in Israel, and there was something good happening there. This is why I have hope. Okay. And this terror attack that you mentioned, it wasn't from a person coming from the inside. It was a boy coming from outside of the city of David, an Arab boy that did this terror attack. Okay. And the Arab neighbors there were very devastated about it because they said, we are keeping something here for the next generation to be better. Okay. So we have the houses, very narrow. I think it's beautiful, especially because it's so narrow and you go like in between houses and everything. And it's not very modern, not modern at all.
Right.
And you have the pavements are broken and whatever. There's something beautiful about it. Okay. We have to be very careful when we come to fix it to make sure that we preserve the fact that there's something very unique going on there.
Hmm.
Then you go one layer even above the houses, before I go below, even above the houses, you have modern touristic areas, a restaurant built above the offices,
Hmm.
a show, a video show built above a house. Okay. So you have touristic area, you have houses, you're going to have the cable car coming
Oh, it's gonna
from,
come there?
yes, it's going to come from the western side of Jerusalem all the way to the city of David. So it's even a higher layer.
Wow.
It's the sky layer. Okay, so we have the sky
It's
layer.
gonna be on a bridge?
Yes,
Wha
no, it's going to be on a cable car coming from the western side of Jerusalem all the way to the city of David.
Okay.
3 to 4 years, we're going to have it. Okay,
Okay.
3,000 people per hour coming from the western side. I'm so happy I'm making you something new to ask me that you didn't know about it. I
I
mean,
can't even picture that. Like, where do you fit a cable car into this?
it's
It's like
unbelievable, but it's gonna happen.
okay.
Okay, as I said, we are preparing the platform
Mhm.
for everyone to come because everyone will want to be part of what's going to happen in the city of David in the next couple of years
Mm.
and the next generations.
Wow.
So we are preparing it. So we have the layer above, we have the touristic area, we have the houses, the neighborhood where everyone has to live together. And then we go underground and we see this amazing, amazing city 2,000 years ago. So we have a very ancient city 2,000 years ago. We have an old city from 150 years ago. And then we have touristic area. And we're going to have the future with the cable car.
Wow.
So it's like a layer of cake building that. And above all of that, Ashley, there is the spiritual layer. And we have to remember that. When we come to the city of David, don't just be in the mind of what do I see, of where the layers. Ask yourself what you want to be with your spirit. And if you don't ask this question, and I know you ask it every time, if you don't ask, you're missing something. Where is my spirit when I come to visit the city of David? How does this tool makes me a better person?
Mhm.
And if we start speaking this language that Abraham Accords, it's exactly that. We have to remember how to be a better person. And this is the story of the city of David.
Wow. This is so fascinating. I could talk about the city of David all day because really it's the kind of thing that as much as I will try to get it across on camera, as you said, you just can't. People have to come and see for themselves. So again, thank you very much for coming
It's
and
my
giving
pleasure.
us a little taste of City of David. And I strongly recommend that if whether you're in Israel or the next time you come to Israel, this is the place that whenever everybody asks me, what's something that I shouldn't miss, it's the City of David.
Thank you
So
so much.
thank you. Thank you so much. That's all the time we have today. Please make sure that if you haven't yet, subscribe, hit that bell, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.